So this is a real coaching session. Mark manages a technical team, and for 12 months, he's been in a slow motion conflict with one of his people. Let's call him Thomas. So, performance conversation, HR involved, documentation, all the works, but nothing moves. And then the company runs an anonymous engagement survey, and one person on the whole team leaves negative comments. Mark knows exactly who it is. So this is session 3, and watch where he thinks the problem is when he walks in. Mark, so it sounds like the survey feedback triggered you here. Well, it definitely triggered me. He said international members of the team are held to a different standard, like essentially treated differently. Say what you actually think, unfiltered. This is the one place where you can. So the words that came out of my mouth, that's bullshit. I spent more time on this guy than anyone else on my team. Like 12 months of trying to get the best out of him, and then he turns around and says that. I just felt angry. Yeah, but you can't say that in front of the employee. So that's the first reaction. And what's the meaning you attach to it? I think he's trying to make a point. He'll ask me something and then go ask somebody else the same question, because he doesn't trust me in what I'm telling. But if you dig a bit deeper, he feels like he's not being heard, not being listened to, not being taken seriously. So he's spoken to me, he's spoken to HR, and he still feels that way. So the survey is another route to get it out there. Okay, so put yourself in his shoes. What can you start to understand? So he's been in the industry 10, 11, 12 years. So in his mind, he should be senior by now. He probably doesn't like being told he's not doing the things as well as he should. Anyone working that long thinks they know how to operate. So he's confused about why suddenly here, that's not the view. But he's also not meeting the expectation, and that's the part he won't look at. So let me reflect back what I just heard. I'm not sure there isn't a part of you that's still resistant to understand him. Say, what do you mean? So you started to understand him, and then you found a reason not to. There's no judgment in that, it's just an observation. But notice what he said he feels. Not heard, not taken seriously. Those small phrasings might be exactly the thing producing it. Right. Okay, I see what you mean. So, knowing all of what we discussed, what do you want to commit to? Well, a conversation where I'm not talking, where he gets to unload without any fear of comeback from me. So no responding, no questioning everything he says. So just listening, taking notes, and asking questions to actually understand where he is coming from. So he had that conversation 2 weeks later. He rated it a 7 out of 10. And Thomas raised concerns he had never mentioned before once in 12 months. Not in performance reviews, not with HR. And Mark said the thing that made it work was that he wasn't defending, which for the first time left him enough headspace to actually listen instead of building his response while the other person was still talking. And here's the part that stayed with me. Shortly after that conversation, Thomas quit his second job. Yes, he had another job the whole time. 12 months of performance conversation, and it never came up. Because nobody had ever created a space where it could. And then 2 sessions later, Mark told me something else. The team feedback showed he's been giving more slack to the people he personally got on with. So the conflict he thought was about one difficult employee turned out to be about his own inconsistency as a manager. And then later he went on to run a formal grievance process as the impartial manager. So the exact skill he told me in session 1 he didn't have. And that's the pattern. He wasn't refusing to understand, like he'd start to and then find a reason to stop. And by the way, most of us do it in under 1 second.